the song with your heart. Play the song with your heart.
And one time, let's react to the All-Star game, All-Star weekend. Because we only were able to react to the Rising Star game because we recorded on Saturday. So we were able to react to that. I want to react to just the Saturday night and then Sunday night. Here's the thing. So Saturday night, I was actually surprised how good it was. It wasn't that bad. Like, the 3-point contest was entertaining. It went down to the wire with Buddy Hield and Damian Lillard. I had money on Buddy Hield. I was so pissed. Damian Lillard.
First of all, listen. I need you to put the gambling number. If you were gambling on All-Star Weekend, I need you to call the number and get help, because that is ridiculous.
Oh, my God. I mean, listen, I'm not a big gambler anyway, so I had Buddy Hield, and this man, I knew when he missed that money ball, I think it was a money ball shot, I was like, yo, that might screw him over. And Damian Lillard won by 1 point. 1 point. That pissed me off. And then we had the dunk contest. I think KJ Martin, Mac McClung won, and Mac McClung put on a show. How did you feel about his performance?
I knew he could dunk, but I didn't know he could do something like what's that one dunk? He jumped over them dudes and then like hit the ball off the backboard, then dunked. That was crazy. I didn't expect him to get busy like that.
Kenny Smith was hating.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was because Black History Month, but he was hating like crazy. I'm like, are you not watching when I'm watching right now? The dude went in the air. I think he may have jumped over. Did he jump over somebody? And he did a double. It was like a double clutch. Reverse dunk.
He did.
Bro, dunked over somebody. Reverse double pump dunk, and the crowd was dry.
Utah. Why did they even? They need to keep the All-Star festivity cities to like 10.
Yeah,
because Utah had no business getting the All-Star weekend.
I get why they want to do it, because they want to give the fans the opportunity that live in that area to go see the game, because they've probably never seen it before. And so, but yeah, Utah in general was just atrocious. It was a big, massive flop. And then we had the All-Star game. Matter of fact, before we get to that, the skills challenge, I'm not a big fan of this 3-team sort of thing.
I don't know what they doing.
It's not good. It just, from a competitive standpoint, I feel like it worsens it. I like the whole individual aspect of it, because it's just more players, and then I like that more. I don't like the whole team aspect of it. I just think they need to abolish it. Okay, so let's go to Sunday night, and this is where it was just a disgrace. It was atrocious. I can't believe that, because the past 2 All-Star games, they were actually pretty good. They were pretty solid. Well, actually, no, past 3. I think they all went down to the wire. 2020, 2021, 2022. I had no problems with them. This one was an abomination. Just speak on just the abomination of that All-Star game.
Well, there was no defense being played, which was expected.
Yes.
But even when crunch time happened, the league got so out of control that the other team had to overcome like a 40-point deficit. So it was like they had no incentive to really win.
Yeah.
And then LeBron hurt his hand, allegedly, and then didn't play the second half. Yeah. Giannis played 1 possession.
And then he sat out because his hand, his wrist or something.
I don't know, man. That was just the most entertaining part of the game was when Jaylen Brown and Tatum was going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty nice. I enjoyed that. There was also some moments with Damian Lillard where he hit that half-court shot. I thought that was really cool. But for the most part, I wasn't amused by all of the things that were happening. There wasn't really many flashy dunks, not really many sort of flashy layups or anything. They were just vibing on the court nonchalantly, like the whole time. Like Jason Tatum, he broke the all-time scoring record in an All-Star game, and I was just like, okay, so what? Who cares? Seriously. So I was so disappointed, and the ratings reflected just the game itself because not many people were watching. It was one of the worst.
In fact, it was so low. It was even lower than the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, it was atrocious. I actually have like a stat. I
The
think
Pro Bowl flag football game was better, by the way.
I think ESPN. I think this is ESPN that put this graphic on Twitter. But so the 2023 All-Star Game generated 4.6 million views. That's a 2.2 rating. That's bad. That's really bad. Matter of fact, just compare it. Last year was a 6.3 million views. The year prior was 6.1. 2020 was 7.3. And then go down the list pretty much like 7, 8 million views and stuff like that. So it's been going down, and this year was just a telltale sign that people are frustrated. They're not trying to see this BS. Seriously.
Wait, so was those numbers for the whole weekend or just the game?
It was the game. But
Okay.
also, Saturday night was pretty bad and Rising Star. So it wasn't just the All-Star game. It was the entire weekend was pretty bad. But the numbers I showed was from the All-Star game, just to clarify. And so, yeah, it's really bad. The product was just atrocious. The thing is, I look at a guy like Luka, and I look at a guy like Jokic. It seems like every year, they don't do nothing. They just vibing on the court,
They don't care.
and that's the problem. Because when LeBron picked Luka, I was just like, he ain't gonna do nothing. That's what he does every year. He doesn't care, and that's why people aren't watching the games because these guys don't care. They just like, okay, I'll just be here, whatever. I think you said that, I don't know if it was you who said that, but it's like the whole idea of the All-Star game is, it may have been somebody on television who said the All-Star game is really like a networking event. No, the weekend is a networking event pretty much. Like it's not really, nobody really cares about the whole games and the competition. It's really just meeting up with execs, meeting up with other players, getting contact information, partying, whatever. It's not about the game. It's not about the competition. And they're right. They're absolutely right about that. And it's reflected on the ratings. It's reflected on the product on the court. And I'm disappointed. I really am, because I like this stuff.
It's like that in almost every league. Like, no one really cares about All-Star Weekend. No one really cares about the Pro Bowl. I mean, the best All-Star Weekend is in MLB because the home run derby, and at least the players try in the All-Star game.
Here's the thing, because in the past, like the All-Star Weekend, I felt like it didn't start getting bad until around, I would say maybe 2017-ish, maybe 2016-ish, maybe, when the guys just didn't play no defense and the score was like damn near 200 points. That's when the game started getting unwatchable for me, because in the past they weren't playing defense, but there was times where you would see some type of defensive plays being made. Like, remember the 2013, it was like Kobe and like LeBron were going at it, and Kobe blocked his shot, and I think he also stole the ball as well. Like stuff like that, where okay, you don't have to go all out, but at least show some moments where you're playing defense. And so now it's not that at all, and I miss that. I miss 2020. 2020 was one of the best All-Star weekends ever, in my opinion. Just the way, the festivities, the way that they honored Kobe, and the All-Star game itself was also really cool. Like, I miss that. That was really dope.
That was.
And it was in Chicago. So it was all the dunk contest. That was when Aaron Gordon got robbed again.
Oh, yeah.
Dwayne Wade. So I miss those. I really do, because that was awesome. Let me ask you this. Fixing the All-Star weekend. What needs to happen? What do they need to fix? What do they need to add? What do they need to get rid of?
First of all, that goofy skills challenge team crap needs to go. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but no. And I mean, the players themselves gotta fix it. They'd have no reason to go out there and try.
You know what they need to do? They need to put in these players' contracts that if you win this competition, you'll get a bonus. Because when you start talking about money with these players, they're going to care. And so you have to do something where if this player wins this award, an All-Star weekend, or participates in this, they get a bonus. You have to do something like that in order for the players to care. Money is going to have players caring.
It depends how much money. Because if you're an all-star, you're more than likely on the higher end of contracts in the league. So how much money really is going to
That's a good point.
impact that?
Well, I'll get to another thing as well, because I'm at the point where I think that the fully guaranteed contracts need to be eradicated. They need to be eradicated.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a sec, but that's one of the things that incentives when it comes to participating in these competitions, there needs to be incentives in the contracts in order for the players to really care. But you say the skills challenge, I agree with you, is getting really ridiculous. Nobody really cares that much. What about the dunk contest? Do you feel like they should still do it? They should change it up?
Yes, but once again, the players gotta want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't players like Ja doing it? Why did Shadon Sharp drop out of the dunk contest? Like, why aren't these like? This is gonna sound crazy, but LeBron started this.
Oh, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that.
Remember when
2009,
2010, he was like, I'm putting my name on the and he did not do the dunk contest.
You're not lying.
Like it started a precedent. Like, why would I do the dunk contest? LeBron won't even do it. Me personally, I don't think LeBron would have been that great in the dunk contest because we only see him do like 3 kind of dunks. But it still would have just been fun just to see him in there, right? But then ever since then, it's like I think the last like star we had in the dunk contest was Donovan Mitchell.
If you want to call Levine a star, you want to call Levine.
That was 2016.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that's a good point. You're probably right. It was
Donovan Mitchell was the last star that participated in the dunk contest. That is a problem.
That is a very bad problem. It doesn't even have to be a star for real. It just got to be players that they actually play. Like they actually have a key role on a team and they can dunk. Not no Mac. I like Matt McClung. He's an outlier. Like, come on, he's an outlier. I knew he could dunk. If you watch Ball is Life, if you watch Overtime, him and Zion were wrecking high school from a dunking perspective, from just an overall play perspective. So I wasn't mad about Matt McClung. But guys like, was it Jericho
Sims?
Come on, man. Like,
the
nobody
worst
trying to
dunks
see
of all time.
Trey Murphy. He wasn't bad, but I don't want to see Trey Murphy dunk. I want to see somebody else do it, like Shaden Sharp. Like guys like that where you see the highlights. You see them because they're playing all the time. They have a key role. It doesn't have to be a LeBron. It doesn't have to be a Ja. It could be somebody that has a key role that's getting a lot of minutes and that is dunking the ball a lot and doing a lot of flashy dunks. And we're not getting that. It's getting worse every year.
Do you think players think they're like too cool to do stuff like that?
I don't think it's that they're too cool. I think that, one, they're too scared. 2, they don't value the dunk contest in any way. They don't care because...
I'm talking about like in general, because like you look at the All-Star game, it seemed like everyone was just like too cool to even try.
I think it was just that. To try? You might be right. I just don't think they see the value in participating. I think that
that goes into being cool. They don't.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't.
Yeah. I agree with you. And the only people that see the value is the guys that are G Leaguers, guys that aren't getting no playing time because now they finally have a platform where they can display their talent and people will know their name for once or chant their name. So, yeah, like a Matt McClung, of course he's going to do this because he's in the G League most of the time and he doesn't get any playing time for Philly. But guys like Shaden Sharp, guys like, I don't know, Ja doesn't really need it, but guys that are just coming in the league, but they're getting valuable minutes and now high flyers, dunking the ball left and right, participate. But anywho, back to the whole how to fix it. We need a one-on-one competition or a 3-on-3 competition. We need something one-on-one related because this is getting too redundant. It's getting too repetitive. The same format every year. It's getting boring. We need something that will get people riled up, get people talking. We need a one-on-one tournament. 3 dribbles to avoid major injuries. 3 dribbles. And let's do that. Because now the whole thing, I've heard from, I don't know if it was First Take or ESPN, where they talked about there might be, it might be hard to do one-on-one tournaments because of brands and organizations. They might be reluctant to wanting to do the whole one-on-one tournament. But, man, figure it out. We see this, I think it was Ballas Life. They had the USA camps. We see them going one-on-one. Why can't we do that in the All-Star game?
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
The players, like, in the off season, they show more effort in the Drew League than the All-Star game.
Yeah, Stephen A. talked about that on First Take today. He talked about how in the off season they go harder than they do in the All-Star game. It's not good. It's really not. And that's why a lot of fans are turned off by it. That's why a lot of fans are not watching the game. And that's why the All-Star game had arguably the lowest rating in NBA history, because fans are tired of it. I'm tired of it. But I just love the game so much. All right, so then I would say after the one-on-one tournament, there has to be, I don't know. Besides the one-on-one tournament, I can't think of another like great idea that they could implement. Bring back horse. You could bring back horse. Remember they had horse for a few years. They had KD. He was participating in it a lot. You could bring back horse. You can. I don't know. Just you have to do something. You have to do something. So
Quickly.
yes, because it's getting bad. But when I talked about the guarantee contract, because the conversation about load management keeps being a conversation. I think it's time to eradicate the fully guaranteed well, not eradicate, but not have every damn player have a fully guaranteed contract. Because the thing with these players, the money, look at Ben Simmons. This guy's getting paid damn near $40 million, and if he has a sore back, he's going to sit out. You have to get rid of the fully guaranteed contract for most of these players, because if you get rid of the fully guaranteed contract, if you go the NFL route, they're going to play more games. That's the thing about the NFL, where the thing about the NFL, these players, I respect that they put it on the line, that they actually go out here and play games. But at the same time, I do criticize the NFL because this is a violent game and these players are risking their lives. And look at DeMar Hamlin's situation. And so I do think that the players deserve more fully guaranteed money than they usually do. But when it comes to the NBA, man, they need these owners. Well, now they're governors. They need to like go in negotiations and say, you know what, enough is enough. You're not getting no more fully guaranteed money. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or yeah, they need to make it incentive based.
Exactly, and that's where my whole thing about if you participate in an all-star competition or event, you'll get X amount of money because you participated. And if you win the event, you get even more money.
I see what you're saying.
So get rid of the fully guaranteed. Now people could be like, "How can you say that? Don't you want black folks to win and all that?" And I do, but I'm also a fan too, and I want the product to succeed. And these brothers are out here sitting left and right, sitting on the bench, making $40 million per year, $30 million per year, and they probably have like a sore back. They probably have like an ankle injury that back in 2005, them dudes be playing. them dudes were playing because they didn't have all the money that they do now. And so you have to get rid of the fully guaranteed contract. It's done for. It's over because the ratings are declining. Matter of fact, let me go to. I have another stat.
You know what's funny? If they don't change it, it's just going to get worse because with the NIL out and stuff, players going to be coming into the league with money.
Mm-hmm. And so there was another stat. It was I think it was the NBA Finals rating, and I think that the Finals rating's going down too.
Yeah, I think it was
like a 6 or a 5 or something. The last year's Finals.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
And so like a 10 is usually a good rating.
Yeah.
A 10, a 9 is it's all right. You can do better, but it's all right. But once it gets down to like an 8, that's when things get murky. It gets bad. And so it's just continuously go down. I think the last 2 years have been like an 8 or something like that. And then 2022 was like a 6 or a 5. So they have to do something. They really do have to do something because it's getting really bad.
Seems like the league is catering towards social media engagement and clips and all that stuff rather than like the whole product as a whole.
What it is, the league is bending the knee to these players more than looking at the fans. I think what the league needs to do is that they need to put all their money and attention into the fans, not the players. That's what Adam Silver has done. He's been more player-centric, right? He's tried to accommodate a lot of these players, and it's bitten them in the foot. He needs to look at the fans. Get rid of the fully guaranteed
We miss
contracts.
David Stern.
Yes, he would put his foot down, and he would make sure that these players know that I'm top dog up in this jump. So, yeah, fully guaranteed contracts. Not every player needs to be fully guaranteed. Matter of fact, there should probably only be maybe 5 or 6 players that should have a fully guaranteed contract. That is Luka, Jokic,
Giannis.
Oh, yeah, Giannis. I'll go
Tatum.
He plays games. I agree. He plays games. Who else would be in that sort of consideration? You have to be a player that plays games.
Oh, Embiid.
Well, last year, he's been available recently. So Embiid.
There's probably some other
I'll probably
guys.
go as much. I know LeBron's old, but
I say he paid his dues.
I think he paid his dues. I'll probably get LeBron the edge.
Steph.
Steph as well. He deserves his fully guaranteed contract. Dame deserves fully guaranteed. That dude always plays, even though he didn't play against Sacramento last night. He deserves his money. And lastly,
I thought they played the Sixers.
Nah, the Portland, they played Sacramento last night. Those are only guys that I can only think of that deserve like fully guaranteed. Everybody else does not deserve fully guaranteed. That's just crazy to me. Okay, so last night's games. It was an interesting slate of games. Like there was the Grizzlies, the Sixers game, Lakers Warriors game, the Oklahoma City, the Thunder versus the Jazz game, which went down to the wire as well. I think it went to overtime. And then you had the Nuggets and the Cavs game, which also went down to the wire. It was some good slate of games. And the only games I watched was like Philly and the Grizzlies. You weren't able to watch them because you were tired as hell. But just to sum it up. So what happened was that the Grizzlies, they were just cooking Philly. Offensively, defensively, Joel Embiid wasn't able to get to the paint at all. Like, they were forcing Philly to shoot jumpers the entire night. And so the Grizzlies, I was like, damn, come on, Philly. Come on, Joel Embiid. Like, what you doing? Why you keep settling for jump shots? And they were just doing a really good job. Like, the guys, they were picking up their man. They were contesting shots. They were just after it. Like, they were just a step ahead of everything. They were attacking the basket as well. They were getting to the paint relentlessly. But then the third quarter happens. Third quarter happens. Philly starts ramping up their defense. Joel Embiid had like 6 blocks that game. He had a bad offensive night, but from a defensive perspective, he was blocking everything. And they just started ramping up their defense, and the Sixers were able to climb back. Fourth quarter comes around, Grizzlies started taking more of a lead. They were still doing the same things that they were doing in the first 3 quarters, but the Grizzlies being the Grizzlies, this past like few months, they've had a problem with closing out games. And this is another example of it. They weren't able to score as much. Embiid was doing a really good job defensively. And then Philly, I think it was the last 3 minutes, Tobias Harris was hitting shots, James Harden was hitting shots, Tyrese Maxey, and then PJ Tucker was hitting shots. And the Grizzlies, they were just, they couldn't hit nothing. It was really like hot potato, like, here, you do you cook, pretty much. You go cook. Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, John Morant. John Morant was getting clamped that game, too. He was getting clamped. Yeah, so it was just bad Grizzlies. The Sixers was able to climb back even though they weren't hitting shots at all. And so, yeah, the Grizzlies, man, they look really bad.
They don't have another bucket getter.
Their offense is just so weird.
It's essentially let Ja cook and then hope the other dudes can hit shots on pass outs on a drive and kick.
Dylan Brooks is one of the worst offensive players I've ever seen. He attempts like 15 shots and he'll like shoot 40% from the field. He's one of the worst offensive players I've ever seen. Like, I would never, if you ever have a kid, people watching this, if you have a kid or if you ever have a kid, do not watch Dylan Brooks. Do not let your kid watch Dylan Brooks. He's going to pick up on bad habits. His jump shot is one of the ugliest jump shots I've ever seen. He can't do anything but just talk. That's all he does is talk. Because he's not, they say he's a defensive player. I mean, he's all right. He all right, but he's not elite. So what is he there for? He just talks. And so that was really the game. It's really the game, man. John Morant. I'm not scared of the Grizzlies in the playoffs.
I don't think a lot of teams are.
And they're like, they have the second best record in the Western Conference. And nobody's scared of them at all. They probably lose in the first round.
You know who the Grizzlies remind me of?
Who?
The Vikings.
Why you say that?
They got a stud guy, obviously the top guy being Ja, and then the other Justin Jefferson. But other than that,
Didn't they had T.J. Hawkinson. He was pretty good. He's one of the best tight ends in the league. Kirk Cousins, he can
at
sling
what?
it. One of the best tight ends in the league.
At what?
He can catch the ball.
Saying one of the best tight ends in the league is like saying one of the tallest third graders. It don't really count for much. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, he can catch the ball. He's a solid route runner. Wait a minute. Are you comparing them because both Ja and both Justin Jefferson, they're known for doing the gritty?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm saying that they're the center, the star player of the team.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
And if they don't play well, then the whole team is just
Yeah, I got you. I mean, that's a fair comparison.
And the fact that they were a top seed, but no one was scared of them.
No, that's a fair comparison. You're absolutely right on that matter because John Morant is really just him and a bunch of role players. Really, Desmond Bane, he's
Adam
a little
Beanless.
bit he's a little bit better than a role player, but overall he's not a guy that you give the ball to and he creates his own shot.
Yeah.
So then the next game, this is on TNT, the Lakers and the Warriors played. No Steph, no Wiggins. The Warriors, man, they are in a bad position right now.
They got a tough stretch of games coming up.
It's really bad.
Watch they get Webb and Yam. I'm not watching the NBA if they end up with Wemby.
They're in a bad situation because Steph is out right now. He probably won't be playing until maybe next week, a week from half. And then you have Wiggins, who's not injured. He's dealing with family problems right now. So they're giving him time. It's just they're just in a bad position this entire year. Their bench, they have no depth. They thought that the young guys were going to step up. They traded Wiseman. He hasn't been living up to the bill. And you have Moody. You have other guys. They brought in Dante DiVincenzo. He's been okay, but he hasn't really moved the needle that much. They're just in a bad position. I don't think they'll be able to make the playoffs. They just don't look like a playoff team to me.
Let's not forget Jordan Poole trick y'all, man. How much they gave that boy?
140. I didn't like the contract at all.
I didn't. I was like, why did they pay him so early? He had one good year and they gave him all that money. I was confused.
I was like, dude, as a six man, you giving him $140 million? What is wrong with you?
Straight fleeced him.
Yes, highway robbery. Crazy. It's crazy. They're in a bad position right now, and I don't think it's going to get any better. Even if you add Steph and Wiggins, they were struggling with Steph and Wiggins. So
I think the philosophy might need to change, coaching wise.
Coaching, Steve Kerr need to go?
No, I'm talking like I understand it's the system of the Warriors, a lot of screen, but sometimes if you want these young dudes to develop, you might just have to tell them just go get a bucket at this point because we're not seeing the improvement we're seeing across some other guys in the league.
Well, another thing, Mike Brown not being there anymore. I wasn't a believer in Mike Brown, but the way that Sacramento was looking
after that, he coached 2 playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
And it was but now look at the Kings, man.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
they're in the third seed right now.
Yeah, they're third. Did they win yesterday?
Yeah, they beat Portland. Remember?
Oh yeah, Lillard Dame wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm. So he's doing a hell of a job in Sacramento. Have him as the third seed. He's coach of the year. He's coach of the year right now. Not having him, he's probably an energized bunny. Was able to get these players.
Joe, was it Masula would be coach of the year?
No. He inherited one of the arguably the most talented roster in the league. Nah.
Okay.
I think it's Mike Brown because he's taking a bad situation, and now they're the third seed. He's coach of the year, bar none. We'll just have to see the Warriors. So then on the Lakers side of things, the Lakers were able to take a commanding lead even while LeBron James and Anthony Davis were playing like trash cans on offense. LeBron James had a horrible performance on offense.
5 for 20?
Yeah, he was bad. It was really bad. And then Anthony Davis, he attempted only 5 shots, but he did a really good job on the defensive end. So I'll give him credit on that and rebounding. Both of the star players, they didn't show up offensively, but it didn't matter because when you have Malik Beasley hitting seven threes, scoring 26 points.
It said LeBron and AD combined for 24 points, but the rest of the team had 99.
Yep, and when you do that, you're going to win a lot of games because in the past, when we had Russell Westbrook, by the way, it feels good not having Russ no more. Thank you, Clippers. Thank you, Utah, for taking Russell Westbrook off our hands. I truly appreciate it. God bless you. Anywho.
Why do teams continue to help the Lakers?
Stop
for
it.
no reason?
Stop it. What teams?
The Jazz literally helped y'all out.
Oh, my God.
They took Russ off your hands and gave you a good shooter and a good wing player. For what?
Get a future first-round pick. You get the 2027 first-round pick. That might be a lottery pick.
Oh, brother. Whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, anywho, back to the conversation. When you have a team like this where you have a bench and when you have a starting lineup with quality players, guys that can actually play the game and aren't minimum contract guys, you're going to win. You're going to succeed. You don't have to put everything on LeBron James. And it's just great. It was great to see because normally I haven't seen this since 2021 before LeBron and AD went down with injuries. So I'm glad we can finally see this again. And my Lakers, let's win 10 in a row.
Yeah, right.
Let's go on a 10-game win streak. We already have 2, 8 more to go. Let's get it. We got Dallas. We have Dallas Sunday.
L.
Let's get the W. Then we have Memphis, I believe.
L.
Let's get the W. Let's go on a run.
Y'all not beating both of them.
D'Angelo Russell got hurt, but it's not going to be a serious injury. They're saying it's day-to-day ankle injury. Can't wait to see D'Angelo Russell back. He's been a positive for us as well. I'm glad that Malik Beasley got his feet wet, was able to score over 26 points, shooting 3 really well, helping space the floor. Ain't that something? The Lakers were struggling mightily from 3 in the beginning of the season up to the All-Star break. Get the players back. You finally have shooters. You finally have a rotation. Lonnie Walker can't even get in the game because we have so many good guards. Austin Reeves, Malik Beasley, D'Angelo Russell. Vanderbilt, he's a forward.
Oh, you
But
just naming
I'm
guards.
naming
Okay.
guards. Lonnie Walker, he's a rotational
I
guy.
should have
But
traded him to the Wizards.
well, I think Rob, he probably couldn't find a good deal for Lonnie Walker. That's why he probably wasn't able to trade him. I'm so glad that we're able to be in a position where Lonnie Walker can't even get minutes on the floor because we're that deep. It's so beautiful. I don't want to get too much into it because we can talk about this all day. But anywho, let's go to
Sound good now. Just wait till shoot, if y'all even make the playoffs.
We're gonna make the playoffs. We're gonna make the playoffs. I'm guaranteeing it. We're going to make the playoffs. Guarantee it.
What seed? You better not say 6, because you'd be smoking good dope.
You know what? The 6th seed.
Oh, bro.
We're going to make the 6th seed.
This is delusion.
We're
Delusion
going
at its
to
finest.
make the
Don't
6th
be like
seed.
this kind of fan.
We were 3.5 before. We were 3.5 back before last night's game. I don't know what it is now. Maybe 3, maybe 2.5. We're going to be the 6th seed. I guarantee it.
Enjoy the play-in.
Whatever. Anywho, so other games, real quick. I didn't watch these games, but I saw them on the box score, and it was pretty cool. I think it was, let's see, it was the Cavaliers in another game. The Cavaliers, they were up by like a big margin, and then the Nuggets started roaring back, and they won the game. I think they didn't have Aaron Gordon in that game. Nuggets, number 1 seed, very dangerous. Are you sold on the Nuggets?
Yes and no. Because it mostly depends on if they can get good play from Jamal Murray in the playoffs. Because we seen last year Jokic couldn't do it all. Because especially if you're getting hunted in a pick and roll. So we need Jamal Murray to get back, get even more healthy, and start hooping like he was back in the bubble.
Yeah, get to
Probably
that.
won't happen, but
I don't think it either. Get to
Nah,
that.
you don't
bubble
even
point.
got to hoop as good. You just got to hoop like at least 60-70% of that. And they should be okay because they have depth. They have depth now.
They do. And I like Aaron Gordon. I like Michael Porter Jr., but those are other guys that need to step up. If they can get those guys to produce as well, I like their chances. But right now, no star on the team besides Jokic. It's going to be very problematic, especially when you play the Suns because they have a lot of firepower. So, yeah, they're still the number 1 seed. They're well coached.
I forgot
Jokic.
about the Suns. When do they play again?
So
And it's KD playing.
That's the question. When is KD going to play? I'm assuming maybe a week from now because he's still recovering. He's practicing though, and they're ramping up the practices. So the thing with Kevin Durant that I like is that he can adjust to any team. You could put Kevin Durant in any team, and it doesn't matter. Like they'll be productive. The team will still be productive because you don't really need to change the offense because he could do everything. Like he's a great shooter. He's a really good ball handler for his size. He's very skilled. He's a 3-level scorer. He could just do it all.
Yep.
You don't really need much. You don't really need to call much plays for him. You could just call ISO and then he'll cook somebody. I'll be shocked if the Suns don't make the finals.
Interesting.
I'll be very shocked because this team is too loaded. From 1 to 5, they probably had the best starting lineup in the West and arguably the East as well. Having Kevin Durant and Devin Booker with DeAndre Ayton, with Chris Paul, you have to go to the finals. There's no excuse. You agree?
I mean, yeah, the logic sounds straight, I guess.
Come on, man. Because the Suns lost to the Mavericks last year. You cannot then turn around, get Kevin Durant, and then you don't go back to the finals. You can't do that. So
Don't worry. It don't even matter if they go back. Giannis going to get them up out of there yet again.
Okay. And then another game that I was looking into was
I know the Mavs played yesterday.
Yeah, they played the Spurs, but I don't really care about that because the Spurs suck. It was another game.
The Warriors elite, though.
Oh, the Celtics and the Pacers played. That was a really good game.
Was a close
that
game.
went to overtime, and Benedict Mathurin and Jason Tatum, they had a little – it wasn't much. It was just like, they try to get the ball and stuff. So it wasn't really much. But that was a competitive game. And then you had was it the Thunder and the Jazz game? I'm glad. Thank you, Utah. Thank you for beating the Thunder because we needed you guys to win that game.
Nasty work. They need other teams that help them out.
Absolutely. I have no problem with
Goat
that.
James needs other teams to help him out to make the playoffs.
Well, you do the same thing as a Cowboys fan, so I don't know why you complaining.
I don't have the GOAT on my team. I have Dak Prescott as my QB.
But you be like, oh, I need the Commanders to beat this team for me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commanders, for beating the Eagles. Like, you were hoping the Commanders beat the Eagles. So,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that.
Because I'm a hater.
Exactly, man. You asking for other teams to win. What's wrong with me doing the same thing for my team?
You got the GOAT on your team. You got GOAT James on your team.
You have Dak Prescott. You said he was playing like a top 5 QB at one point. So, what are we talking about here?
The lie detector determined it was false.
Okay. All right, government informant. Whatever. Okay, let's get. So let's go to like the NFL real quick.
There's NFL news.
Yes,
oh, right.
there is NFL. Actually, no. Before we go to NFL, something happened. How could I forget? Russell Westbrook signed with the Clippers. We cannot ignore this. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. This is an amazing move by the Los Angeles Clippers. Don't you agree?
No.
Come on, man. This is an amazing move. They get a
Be serious.
They're getting a former MVP, a triple-double guy.
Be serious.
He puts everything on the line every night. He gives maximum effort. He's a great teammate. Come on, this is a great move.
So why'd y'all trade him away if he was all those things then?
Hey man, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, okay.
He need a different fit. You feel me?
Yeah, okay.
Nah, but seriously though, thank you, Clippers. I hope you enjoy having the momentum killer that is Russell Westbrook on your team because my team was suffering. Look what's happening with the Lakers right now without Russell Westbrook. It is a completely different team. LeBron and Anthony Davis, at the final minute of the game, they were like, oh my God, they look so happy. Anthony Davis was like, damn, we're up 24 points. When was the last time that happened? Now he's on the Clippers. Paul George. I want to thank you, Paul George. I want to thank you very much. First of all, you stabbed Russell Westbrook in the back and went to the Clippers, and now you brought him to the Clippers. Thank you. Thank you. Chess moves. He's playing chess, not checkers. This is a fantastic move, Paul George. I am so glad you used your authority to go to the Clippers organization and tell them that I want Russ, because they were reluctant at first. I saw a report. It was on Bleacher Report, I believe it was, where they said the Clippers were initially reluctant to wanting to get Russell Westbrook, but then Paul George came in and said, I want Russell Westbrook. You know what? Start Russell Westbrook, Tyronn Lue. Start him. Please. Let's see a starting lineup with Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. Let's see what the big three can do. Why not? You know what I'm saying? People be like, oh, you can't win with Russ. Let's see it. Let's see if you can actually win. You guys are a 4th seed trying to compete for a championship. Let's go all out to try to see if Russ can really win.
You know what's funny, though?
What?
They don't have to be attached to Russ.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you absolutely
He's not getting
sure?
paid $40 million like he was on the Lakers. If he sucks, just get rid of him.
That's a good point. That is a good point. But Paul George, the Paul George thing, I don't think they're going to cut him because they want to appease Paul George. Because at the end of the season, Paul George can be like, "Hey, I want to get the hell out of here."
Man, if Paul George see that he's stinking up the joint, he gonna be like, he already snaked them once before.
Yeah, but that was after the season, not during the season.
Hey, it don't matter what Paul said. It's what ownership thinks.
All right. Well, they're letting
Clippers probably
Kawhi.
should, if they don't at least get to the conference run, they might as well just blow it up anyway.
They're not going to do that because they have a new stadium. They have a new the new building. Well,
Crypto ring,
yeah.
don't they share it with the Lakers?
no, but they're trying to.
Oh, they're
going
getting
to get a new stadium
Oh,
in like a few years.
to put what 10,000 people in there.
Well, they're trying to get a new stadium, and they want to have the players. They want to have probably Paul George and Kawhi there so they can sell tickets.
Might be retired by then. Man is getting old and his knees is cooked.
Well, anywho, I'm glad that Russell Westbrook's on the Clippers. It makes no sense why he's on the Clippers. I get that they need a playmaking point guard, but he's not the playmaking point guard that you want. He's the guy that's going to turn the ball over. He's the guy that is a 29% three-point shooter, one of the worst point guards when it comes to shooting free throws. He's an efficiency nightmare. Dude is atrocious. He turns the ball over a lot. He has one of the worst hands as a point guard I've ever seen. He's one of the worst finishers at the basket I've ever seen. I think he's finishing like 50%, which is not good. 50% from the lane. You can't win with that. And so the fact that Paul George said, I want Russ because I want him to win a championship, bravo. You'll see the pain. You want to have a reunion with him at this stage of your career, go right ahead.
You think his finishing in the interior had anything to do with the Lakers having no spacing?
You watched the games. You saw those many times where he was one-on-one with somebody and he just blew a layup. In the at fast break, he was one-on-one and the freaking layup went all the way damn near on the backboard. I don't want to hear that.
Okay, we gonna see.
We will see.
Imagine if he balls out. I'ma laugh. I'ma laugh so bad.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Then it only improves my agenda.
What's
about
your
a
agenda?
certain player.
What's your agenda?
I'm not gonna say it until it happens.
LeBron James.
Did I say
You're a
LeBron?
hater. You're a
Did
hater.
I say LeBron?
You're a big
It could
hater.
be. It could be Russ. It
No,
could be
it's
my
not.
Russ
No, it's
agenda.
not. It's not. It's a LeBron.
You don't see. I didn't say anything. You
20
immediately went to LeBron. I don't know why.
24/7, 365. You're a LeBron hater.
I don't know why you went to LeBron. I said nothing about LeBron.
We all know because you're talking about Russ, and then you said it's going to help Maya Virginia about a certain player. Who's it going to be? Kevin Durant?
Could be.
Stop it, bro. You don't care about KD like that. You care about LeBron.
I didn't say anything about LeBron the past 2 minutes.
Whatever. Anywho, Clippers, congratulations. You have Russell Westbrook now. We will be watching. We will be watching. All right, I want to talk about so NBA MVP. It's been controversial. It's been controversial these past 5 years, and I want to talk about the problems with the MVP voting system. What problems do you have with the MVP voting system?
One, my problem is it's mostly narrative based, and I mean, it's just mostly narrative based, and it's like they clearly pick favorites on who to vote for, or it's clearly a guy that clearly is going, oh, this guy. They try to declare MVP within like the first month of the season. I'm like, can we at least get to the All-Star break?
Slow down a little bit.
Like, yeah, it was like the beginning, the first half of the season, we had like 5 dudes to talk about MVP. Though this guy's the MVP. I'm like, can we relax? Like, good grief. Like, we're not even 50% with the season, and we got folks talk about, oh, such and such is the MVP. That's not how basketball works. That's not how it ever worked.
because it was like it was Jason Tatum, it was
Then
Jokic,
it was Jokic. Then it was
Giannis,
Embiid. Then it was Gian.
Embiid,
Then it was Luka. Like
Ja
what the heck is
Morant.
going on?
It's a lot going on, and so I agree with you on that one. It's very narrative based. The thing with these NBA voters is that they keep taking playoffs into account. Now, recently, they've changed sort of their mindset with the whole Jokic thing, which is interesting because normally they would take the playoffs into account. Well, he hasn't won anything, so I can't give you this award. The thing with the MVP, I have to say that's very frustrating, is when a guy is putting up historical numbers and he's playing almost every game, there shouldn't really be no sort of debate about, oh, should we give him the award? And then his team is also thriving as well. Jokic, for all you want to say, oh, if we give him this award, he'll have 3 straight MVPs that hasn't been done since like Larry Bird. Like, okay, I understand that. But if you take a step back and look at the facts, the numbers, the advanced analytics, how his team is doing, you can't tell me that he does not deserve the MVP. And the fact that a lot of these analysts, a lot of these players, a lot of these media people are complaining about Jokic getting another MVP when it's clear as day he meets damn near all the criterias. If there was a criteria, is baffling to me. The fact that a guy is playing damn near every game, which is rare in this league. You see all of these dudes sitting out games because he has a sore back, because I have a sore ankle. Yet Jokic is actually playing. We have to appreciate when a player is putting it out on the line. He's playing damn near every game, and he's putting up historical numbers. Instead of criticizing them, saying that, well, because this player doesn't believe he's the best player, we have to minimize his MVP, Nick Wright. People like that. Oh, because he was picked second to last as a starter in the NBA All-Star draft. That doesn't matter. Look at the stats. Look at the analytics. Look at the facts. And you'll see that Jokic is deserving of MVP. It shouldn't be about what he did last year or the year before. This is a completely different season. And his team is the number 1 seed. And he's averaging a triple-double with not a Jason Kidd triple-double. 24 points, shooting 60% from the field, 80% from the line, 39% from 3 as a big man. Take that for data. And he's one of the best passers I've ever seen. And he's a big man. So what is the conversation? What is the debate? The only person, matter of fact, there's 2 guys where I say the numbers, they're playing games. I look at Jason Tatum, Giannis originally, but then he started missing time. I look at Embiid as well. Those 2 guys, I look at them like, oh, they're in the conversation. But at the end of the day, the way Jokic is thriving and his team is also thriving with no other star, you have to give Jokic his respect. And we have to stop doing this nonsense, this whole narrative-based stuff. Grade on what they're doing on the floor, what the stats say, how their team is thriving.
What if the stats also say Jokic is a terrible defender?
The thing with defense is so hard to measure from an analytical perspective. There's not as many analytical. He isn't a great defender. I agree with you on that. But when has the MVP really been a defensive award? It's been mostly offensive award. If you think about it. Look at Steve Nash. Was Steve Nash a great defender?
No.
No. He tries. Stephen Curry, was he a great defender? No.
He did lead the league in steals one year.
Allen Iverson led the league in steals, and Allen Iverson even told people that he wasn't a good defender. Steph as well. He tries, but look at the 2016 finals. They were hunting him. Anywho, it's an offensive award. Sure, defense matters. It always matters. That's why I'm a big fan of Kobe. Always been. Two-way players are always the way to go. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to MVPs, they look at your offensive skill set. They look at what you're doing on offense and also how your offense is impacting your teammates on the court. What Jokic is doing is unprecedented as a big man. A center who's also orchestrating the offense, getting guys in motion. You can't say enough. And the fact is, Jokic should be the MVP right now. If it ended today, he should be the MVP. If Giannis played more games, there's a debate. But since he's going to have to miss more time, Jokic is the front runner right now. I know you disagree.
Because I like defense. But
Obviously. But it's an offensive award. It's been an
no,
offensive
it's called
award.
most valuable player.
Yeah, but it's been an offensive award.
If most of your value comes from one side of the ball, then
why did Steph win the MVP over LeBron in 2016 and 2015?
I don't know where this whole LeBron is like this elite defensive player came
He won
from.
6. He has 6 first-team all-defensive teams.
Okay.
And he can guard 1 through 5.
Oh my gosh, no! Where did that come from? Where's this footage of LeBron guarding this top tier power forward or center at? We need the film.
As a small ball era, he can guard 1 through 5.
Brother. Man couldn't even guard Jason Terry. How you gonna guard someone like DeMarcus Cousins?
Jason Terry, here we go. Okay. Did you hear what Derrick Rose said?
What Derrick Rose said?
Back in the day, back when he was in his prime, they were like, "Yo, Derrick, why couldn't you go past LeBron?" It's because LeBron, he could keep up with me. He was keeping up with me. Like, dude is 6'9", keeping up with Derrick Rose.
Okay, what about the other 2 positions, power forward and center? Where's the footage? Where's the bigs of them say, "Oh yeah, LeBron was locking me up"? Where's that at?
I don't need film. I've seen it.
See, this is how the media corrupts and brainwashes people.
Listen. As a small, when they say 1 through 5, they mean from the.
He can hold his own. Is that what they mean?
He can hold.
He
his
has
own
the ability.
He can hold his own on pretty much any position. Nowadays, it's not the case, but in his prime, yes, he can hold his own, especially in the small ball era. Do you want LeBron playing the 5 all the time? Hell no. But if you're going small, if the other team's going small, then you can play LeBron at the 5 because he can guard the 5 position or the 4 or the 3 or the 2 or the 1. If you're doing a lot of switching, he can switch and he can hold his own on the person that he's guarding. That's what makes LeBron valuable. You understand?
I guess.
Okay. But back to what I was saying, because you say you value defense, but you were okay with Steph winning those back-to-back MVPs.
Steph was doing historic things.
So the first one?
What, 2015?
Yes. Over LeBron? You were fine with that one?
Yeah. They had the better record.
Okay, but he's not a good defender, and he only averaged 23 points. Sure. Okay. Yeah, his efficiency was fine, but he was only averaging 23 points.
His efficiency was just fine?
Was fine. Yeah, it was fine.
All
right. It was great. It was great. He was shooting over 40% from the 3, 50% from the field, 90% from the free throw line, but not like he was averaging 10 assists a game. Probably averaging like 5 or 6. Probably averaging like 3 or 4 rebounds. Okay.
Was he
not? And he's not a good defender. So why are we criticizing Jokic for not being a great defender
I'm not
when Steph was not a great defender?
You're not listening. I'm not
listening.
criticizing Jokic for not being a good defender. I'm saying that there's guys putting up similar offensive production but still playing defense.
I see what you're saying. I understand the argument. I understand it. But his team is the number 1 seed, and he's shooting. It's not like he's putting up average numbers from an efficiency standpoint. He's putting up historical numbers from an efficiency standpoint, just like with Steph. And did we have a problem with Steph? No, we did not. So I don't have a problem with Jokic, especially since he doesn't have another star that he can lean on. With Embiid, he has James Harden. He has Tyrese Maxey. So with Giannis, he has Chris Middleton. He has Drew Holiday, who just made the All-Star team. With Jason Tatum,
this is what we doing.
With Jason Tatum, he has Jaylen Brown.
Doesn't Aaron Gordon average like nearly 20 points per game?
No, he doesn't average 20 points. I think he averaged like 17 or 18.
Close enough.
But he's not an all-star. He's a solid player.
And Jamal Murray is still like a 20 a night.
He's a solid player, but he's not no star. He's not a Jaylen Brown. He's not a Drew Holiday. He's not a Chris Middleton.
Okay.
Like, come on now, man. Stop this.
What about when Chris Middleton was hurt and wasn't playing? And when he did, he was playing trash and they were still winning.
Yeah, Giannis, another thing, the availability factor. Giannis, he's been hurt this year. Now, how many games he missed? Maybe, I don't know how many games he missed, but he's missed some time, and he's going to have to miss some time because of that hand injury, the wrist. I look at Jokic and the fact that he's always available and the fact that he's putting up those numbers and they're winning and he's winning and they have the number 1 seed. Now, if they had the number 2 seed, number 3 seed, okay, you're right. But the fact that they're the number 1 seed and they've been the number 1 seed for the better part of the year, of the season, I have to put Jokic in 1.
I just don't want to see him. I just don't want to see Jokic winning 3 in a row when Giannis couldn't even win 3 in a row because he ain't winning the play. They say he wasn't a winner.
I agree with you. Who won it over Giannis that year?
I want to say it was it Harden?
No, it wasn't Harden.
It wasn't Harden?
No, it wasn't Harden. I think Giannis won in, was it 19 and 20?
Oh, yeah, that was 19, 20.
And then 2021, he lost to, was it Jokic?
I think it was.
I think it was Jokic. It was Jokic that year. Because I think what happened was they were looking at Jokic in the same argument. Remember with Russ and how Russ carried his team? He didn't have a whole lot of talent. They were looking at Jokic the same way, where it's like he was able to get his team to like 45 wins and like a 6 seed, and he had guys like Campazzo and freaking Austin Rivers starting at guard. So I think they were looking at it like that. But I got Jokic, and the whole narrative thing needs to stop. Look at the facts, look at the stats, look at what his team is doing while he's on the court. It's clear as day, it's Jokic. It's clear as day.
We'll see how the rest of the season plays out.
I put my life in these sentences. Fucking right, it's either that or life sentences.